People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in and welcome back. I hope you're all doing well and safe, whoever you are and wherever you are. Please make sure you hit the like button and you're subscribed. Now, people, I'm sure as an Arsenal fan, you're feeling a bit distraught how we've been. To add further insult to injury, it's a bit ironic because that's the topic of this vid. Kieran Tierney will be out for a while now. He'll be out for a matter of weeks and he'll be able to play no part in this Thursday's game, obviously against Slavia Prague. And allegedly, Martin Odegaard is a doubt as well, having still not recovered quite from an injury he's picked up, better yet sustained on international duty. Now, obviously, things go from bad to worse. As an Arsenal fan, you never get luck with injuries. At times we used to make a running joke of, there used to be somewhat anniversaries when specifically every player was fit at the same time. Now, we know injuries are part and parcel. And again, it's going to throw up further talking points, valid talking points, but further talking points nonetheless. Much like, at the time when Aubameyang had a new contract offer on the table, was begging him to stay. Now people are devil's advocate and saying, is it another Ozil situation and things like that, rightly or wrongly? Obviously, Tierney, the only criticism you can have of Kieran Tierney since he signed for this football club has been fitness, whether that's down to how we're managing his workload, whether it's just simply down to, bad luck, or whether it's down to being injury prone, which I don't believe he is injury prone. I just think he's been unfortunate, but he has got a big rap sheet. Now, people will now look at January and say, well, you let Maitland-Niles go out on loan. You got rid of Kolasinac. You did not bring a left back in, despite the fact we tried to do one. Them times there was linked with Patrick Van Aanholt, Ryan Bertrand and things like that. On the face of it, Tierney's obviously can play there. You've got Saka that can do a job there and is the best candidate, assuming Tierney is going to be out for this time, for me to do it. And you've obviously got Cedric that can be moved there. I'm sure Bellerin's even played a game at left back as well. So realistically, it's Cedric and Saka. One has to wonder. I know Cedric can do a job there, but there's doing a job there and there's been able to play there for the best part of a month. I would rather go with Saka there because he's more of a natural for me. He's left-footed for one. Way before he was really doing his bits on the right and the left-hand side, he was doing his thing at left back really with Aubameyang last season. And I don't want Saka to play there, of course, but I think he's the best candidate for the job. It's as simple as that. And like I said, man, the one key thing is now people are going to look at the club and say, why didn't you bring a left back in? Is that an example of incompetence? Because again, as an Arsenal fan, you probably have to be pessimistic, definitely when it comes to injuries, and cover yourself in that regards. And it's only relevant now because Tierney's picked up a knock on his knee. Unfortunately, I know I'm focusing a lot on Kieran Tierney, but Martin Odegaard being a doubt as well. And one has to wonder, even with him, in terms of playing devil's advocate, was it wise to play him against Liverpool? He's clearly had that knock, and shout out to him. He's put himself through the pain barrier, and we do need to get immediate results going into that game. And he is part of our strongest 11. But so I do get it. And obviously the player's going to want to play. But is that another one where we're playing people, not unnecessarily, but we need to save the player from himself? Any player is always going to want to play. Could we have lost that game or lost the battle and still won a war in a must-win game on Thursday? Martin Odegaard is fit. Now it says doubt in relation to Odegaard, so hopefully it's not serious. But when you look at Partey, we played him against Spurs to obviously play our strongest team. We didn't get the result and we lost the battle and the war. Even Hector Bellerin has played through the pain barrier. Of course, players are, rarely, I'd say, obviously, players probably all got little knocks and niggles and things. I'm not talking about that. And sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do. But it does feel like in terms of how we look after our players, there is a little bit more to be desired, sort of thing. And it's unfortunate that we've got injuries. First and foremost, these are people's health. Definitely the three names you can see here, they're probably three members of our strongest 11 right now. I'd go as far as to say three players most Arsenal fans, whether you rate them or not, definitely probably having their starting 11 or would have in their starting 11 for Thursday. Definitely, I know Odegaard's a leader. He leads by example. And you saw against West Ham, he G's up the team. He demands more pressing in that. And he's one of them as well. More so Kieran Tierney and David Luiz. I think we're going to, away from potentially ability, we're going to miss the leadership, again, for whatever you say about the players. Now, not to be disrespectful, but Kieran Tierney was the main focus of me making this vid. As you lot can see, he's picked up a knock in his left knee. I say a knock. He sustained ligament damage in his left knee during Saturday's game against Liverpool. Fortunately, surgery will not be required, which, forget playing football, long-term effects. Tierney's 20-odd years of age. You're hearing knee ligament, 20-odd years of age. So obviously surgery can be the right thing, but I think genuinely a lot of these footballers are like guinea pigs. You know, when you're listening to these mad not saying you don't listen to doctors, of course, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but when you've got all these elite individuals and they're telling you stuff and maybe they've got ulterior motives, I'm not saying Arsenal do, I'm saying that players always fit at alarming rates and they're always going under the knife. And like you see, sometimes surgery doesn't even work. You've got to think about long term the effects of Tierney's life, let alone football. So happy to see there's no surgery required. Obviously, he can allegedly be back in full training within 4 to 6 weeks. Obviously, you want him back in 4. You know, you don't want it. You want him back in 4. Maybe 4 is too soon. Maybe 6 is too long. So hopefully after 5. But again, when I hear knee ligaments, you know, you want him to come back properly. You don't want it to be a setback in it. And I swear this is one of them injuries, people. I could be wrong, but he might have hurt his left knee, but he comes back and he might hurt his right ankle. I'm sure that's one of those injuries I was reading about. I'm sure that's one of those injuries. A lot of ex-pros were saying when you get them sort of ones there, you start picking up little minor knocks in terms of the rehab. So it's unfortunate in that regards. For Martin Odegaard, of course, it's incredibly annoying because like Smith Rowe, he's picked up a knock where he's had nothing to do with Arsenal. He's been on international duty. And we've known about it because looking back, he did pick up a knock. We've obviously been briefed, and you know, maybe he said he's fine. He's obviously been declared fit, and maybe he's harmed himself even more in relation to Liverpool. Hopefully, it's nothing too big in terms of his right ankle, and it does appear to be discomfort. But if he's uncomfortable, he's not going to be able to do his best job. So I would not play him. You know, again, I know he wants to play through the pain barrier and all of those sort of things there, but I'm a fan of, unless people are 100% fit, especially people like Odegaard, there's not really a point in it because they can't play to their full fitness. And also, you know, Odegaard, I'm sure he'd want to play, but what happens if he plays and he plays poorly? You know how fans are. They don't really care that he was injured and stuff. You've signed it off sort of thing. So it's incredibly annoying. I'd say for me, David Luiz, I'm not going to say concerning. I don't want to scaremonger and things because like Tierney, it's not good news, but it's better news because David Luiz could have been out for even longer. And again, the degree of surgery, apparently it's gone from surgery to a sort of small procedure. Now they're the same thing, but do you get where I'm going with it? It's been better. I think interestingly enough, though, it's kind of vague when you look at the last. Obviously, big up David Luiz for undergoing the surgery in his right knee. He's obviously part of the rehab. We've spoken about it before. People you've seen on Instagram, he's posted and stuff like that. He's expected to be. For me, it's this. You know, it's a bit ambiguous. There's no time scale. You know, David Luiz is expected to be back to full fitness. Apologies, people. My time is gone. That's the chicken in the air fryer. Apologies. It's lunchtime. Sorry, people. David Luiz is expected to be back to full fitness and available for selection in the coming weeks. Now, again, I might be reading into that too much, but for me, I personally see that as that's a bit ambiguous because, again, you're being told specifics in relation to Martin Odegaard. He's being assessed ahead of Thursday regarding his availability. So it's not ruled out. It's not completely that he's in. He's not been ruled out. Tierney, you're immediately being told he's expected to be back in full training within 4 to 6 weeks. So others, you've been kind of given a time scale. You haven't specifically been told about David Luiz. So whether you like David Luiz or not, that could be one. So the likes of Chambers, I might say Odegaard, Chambers, Holding, you know, even Marie, there could be a little spot for someone to grab. And definitely when I look at Arsenal, when at least the league's written off, but in terms of credibility, we've still got to play Chelsea. We still got to play some tough teams. We're trying to go as far as we can in the Europa. It makes us significantly weaker, at least where the defenders are concerned, because we realistically, I shouldn't have to sit here and say we rely on David Luiz, but one way or another, I believe we kind of do. So to have two of your best back at the current moment, two of your best options for a back four, it's a problem. But you know, Mikel Arteta rotates it anyway, so it is what it is. Bukayo Saka is over his hamstring knock. Another one, sadly, we've had to overuse. Happy he's back. You know, we might not see you on the right wing though. You might have to do up left back for me. Like Saka, Smith Rowe, a fellow Highland boy, he's back in full training, as is Granit Xhaka after being unwell. So yeah, I think the only is positive news. I know that's not going to help Tierney or David Luiz. I won't say it's positive, but it could have been worse. Definitely in Tierney's regards. Is he out for the season? I'd say probably, but again, you know, weeks is better than months, really and truly. And David Luiz, there's talk of a new deal. You know, I don't agree with it, but I'm sure that puts a spanner in the works how he rehabilitates from this. Like I said, the only concerning thing is when you look at this last sentence, you know, it's a bit ambiguous in comparison to, like I said, again, they're all at different stages, they're all injuries, but it's just a bit ambiguous in comparison to Martin Odegaard and Kieran Tierney. You're kind of specifically being told what's going on in that regard. So pray for the best, expect the worst is what they say in life. So yeah, man, we're keeping all these players in our thoughts. Happy to obviously have Smith Rowe back. Whatever you say, Xhaka is a bit of a leader and all these things, so we need him in midfield. Yeah, just happy for Arteta to have some stronger options, and sad for him because he's going to be without David Luiz and Tierney, but that's that in that regards, people. Hopefully Odegaard can play tomorrow. If not, we focus on Sheffield United. It's unfortunate, but we know what's going to happen in terms of a season when we go into it. We know there's an issue. Even in terms of a left back, you know, we're in problems there, aren't we, people, really and truly. I didn't think it was that deep. I did think we should have signed one in January. I did think we should have signed one in the summer. I've been saying to get rid of Kolasinac, but obviously, you know, I would say it's on the board and Arteta because they really push the ball out in that regards. And again, it's a bit being reactive. And when there's a chance something could happen, you have to assume it would happen. And what I mean by that is this to Tierney. Now, if something happens to Saka or Cedric, touch wood, where are we at then? You know, I'm a big academy fan, and every academy player will get my sort of love. But in terms of immediate academy left backs, I'm willing to say let's throw them in right now. I don't think there is one. I think if it was right back, there'd be one, but I don't think there is one at left back. So, you know, through times like this, people step up. Who knows? We might have to do some mad stuff like Reece Nelson go there or do something. But many people will say, I can't begrudge the club because Maitland-Niles wanted to go. I can only begrudge the club generally because I don't think we've made a wholehearted decision in Maitland-Niles. It's like will he, won't he sort of thing. But he wanted to go out on loan. It is what it is. He wanted to play in midfield, you know. We probably got a little loan fee for him. An unhappy player right now goes and gets game time and all those sort of things there. Probably should have sold him. Maybe if you sold him in the summer, you could have got an out-and-out backup left back, proper replacement. But whether you rate Kolasinac or not, just in terms of a body, when you've teared up his contract, sent him out on loan, sorry, and he's all but gone. When you've sent Maitland-Niles out on loan, when you've not brought one in, and you know you're gambling with Tierney's fitness, you're in problems. So we're looking, for me, Bukayo Saka does that. Obviously, there's going to be times we're going to need to just have to, because Saka, listen, we already overuse him already in it. He's going to have to be rested at times. So you're going to have to try get away with a little Cedric there, or maybe go to a back three and play with a winger instead of a fullback and hope your midfield can pattern it up. Or who knows, even Granit Xhaka's had a little role there. He basically pulls out to that position in the games anyway. So have to see, people, but obviously it's a spanner in the works. Away from everything, Tierney's just someone who's consistent and gets it, so it is upsetting, but we have to get on with it, innit? There's still no excuses. We have to keep going, people. Sorry for waffling over the time, people, but again, I had a lot of thoughts to say, so I hope you've enjoyed the vid. Please make sure you hit the like button and all of those sort of things there. If you don't know already, it's watch along business for Arsenal, people. Tomorrow I'll be doing a live watch along. I'm pretty sure I've got some other videos and stuff that have been uploaded as well, so the content never stops. Football don't sleep, so how can I really and truly? On that note, though, it's always a pleasure, people, but I'm gonna have to love and leave you. I'm out.